Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to get some simple code, and I'll walk through the code that I have in case you want to copy it for a sticky nav bar. Now you may be wondering what exactly is a sticky nav bar. So the general idea, and I'm going to show you, you can get it directly from ChatGPT if you want, but I'm going to walk you through what it is. So in this page here you'll notice that I have this nav bar, but as I scroll it's not staying on the top of the screen, it's just wherever. Now, if you go through and you ask ChatGPT how to create a sticky nav bar, let's copy this CSS code. I have two pages here, one for our home screen, and then the other one for the CSS file. So if I were to paste in the correct CSS content, and then go back to my browser, when I refresh the page, you'll see that now when I scroll up and down, that nav bar is sticking to the top of the page. So in this video, we'll walk through the basics. Now, if you need to, and you just want it quick and simple, go over to ChatGPT. You can say, write me code for a sticky nav bar in HTML and CSS. If you have any additional notes for things like color, etc., you can add that in if you want the nav bar to be a specific color or format. Now, the nav bar I was given by default, you'll see that as we scroll through, when we hover over, there are colors or like a light highlighting, and you get some sections. And the reason for these sections is when we click a portion of the nav bar, like home, it will bring us down to where that home section is. So now that you have an overview of what the nav bar setup looks like, let's go ahead and walk through the code itself. Now, I can't post the code in the description because YouTube does not allow brackets in certain characters. So what we're going to go ahead and do instead is I'm just going to walk through the code. Now, the HTML can look like there's a lot, especially if you aren't familiar with it, but you actually don't need any of this. All of these are just the random sections that I have in my page. So for this to work, all you really need are going to be this section here. And this is just saying, hey, we have a styles.css file. Make sure that you reference that when you're loading this page. And then when we go to our body, you'll see we have a header class for navbar, and we have opening and closing brackets for the header, the nav, and the UL. Now, here are going to be your nav bar elements. Now, you'll notice we have two different sections. So this section here for home, you'll notice if we were to highlight it, you can see in Notepad++ all the areas it appears. Now, you're going to notice a similarity. Our section ID is also basically our link to that section to bring us to the section. So if you named this about, then you added the number 1, you would make that change here as well. Now, what we're doing is you can also add in different links to different site pages if you want, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to make it simple. So we have our 4 items here. If you wanted, you could name this Home 1 and click Save. And then if we were to refresh, you'll see Home 1 appears. So that's really all that there is to that. Now, this is listing all the list items, and you'll see we have our link and then our text. Now, the important part, and you can just kind of copy this by pausing the video as I scroll through, but the basic elements, we have our body up top, and you'll see that this is specifying margin, font family, line height, etc. These are just kind of simple things. The more crucial elements are going to be down here. So we have our nav bar, we have our background color specified, our padding, the position, things of that nature. This is basically what makes it sticky, but it's also what makes it appear the way that it is, or the way that it looks. Now, you'll see as we continue through, we have a couple of other elements, such as additional padding and other elements, for example, hover. So when I'm on the nav bar, you'll see when I hover over, we have different effects. So those are different things that you can kind of look through and manage yourself, like border radius, background color, etc. And if you're ever confused and you aren't quite sure what is what, you can always try to click in. So you'll see we have our code here for this specific color. If you aren't sure what code is what, you can just try out random numbers and then refresh your page, and see if you notice any major differences. If you don't, then you can kind of continue to work through and see what exactly you need to add or change. The color codes can be a little bit difficult. It's harder to guess just because of the nature of them. But the general idea is as you make changes, you should be able to see them when you refresh your page. Now, once you're done adding in this CSS content, you can save your index.html file or whatever HTML file you're using and your CSS file in your local directories or your public directories, and then you'll be able to access that page live online. I know this was really quick. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next video.